Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Welcome, everybody, to the month of August. Still Real to Us show. Here we are in the summer months. It's amazing that we're getting closer to the end of 2012. It'll be here before you know it. What's it, like 16 weeks away? Anyway, welcome to the Still Real to Us show for August 2nd, 2012, episode number 129. I am Jeff Peck, joined as always. We're both tired as we record this, so that's what the most amazing thing is right now. The one and only Trey, Captain Obvious, Dent, Redneck Revolution Rise Up. What is up, my man?
You know, it's amazing. The fans don't realize how often we just randomly find a time, and it can be late at night, early in the morning. It doesn't really matter. We're here to entertain, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, you know, that's what I really hope people come to appreciate, Captain, because it was a couple of weeks ago you and I did a show right after Monday Night Raw, because that was the only time you and I had to record, and I think we finished it up at 12:30 in the morning on the East Coast time, and here we are recording it on 9 a.m. on a Wednesday, the day before the show is released, and you and I both have to go to work in a little bit, so this is what I call dedication.
Yeah, I if we could get a gold medal, I would really be appreciative. We should be the only Olympic gold medalist doing podcasts right now.
That's right. Listen, if trampolining can be a Olympic sport, and baseball and softball can no longer be Olympic sports, if shooting can be an Olympic sport, then podcasting can be an Olympic sport, and therefore Captain and I are Olympic gold medalists.
Well, I am from the South, so you can't take away shooting, because people down here really do love their guns.
That is true. And I'm from the North.
Trampolining, yeah, definitely trampolining could be one that we can kind of do without.
If your daughter, Captain, can do, what is it, all I remember is where you would pretend that you were an egg on a trampoline. If she could pull that off, she could be an Olympic gold medalist.
Things to strive for in her future. It's going on her bucket list now.
Yeah, put it out there. I would even cross off college education. I would just immediately go Olympic gold medalist in trampolining. So, a decent amount to talk about this week. It's the summer months. We typically kind of find ourselves either overwhelmed or underwhelmed with news. I would say that this is a little bit of a go-between for both that. A little bit of stuff to talk about this week here and there. We'll recap everything that we saw from Raw. The thoughts on the CM Punk, if it's a heel turn, if it's a face turn, if it's a tweener, what he currently is. Abraham Washington's remark, if we like Chris Jericho as a face. There's a new SmackDown general manager. A major person resigned from a rather huge position in the WWE, and a whole lot more. But Captain, I think it's safe to say that we start off this week's show with the return of one former WWE and World Heavyweight Champion. I still think he is considered the youngest world champion of all time still. He returned from what he called on WWE.com 60-day vacation. As we all know, it was a suspension, his second suspension from the WWE drug policy. It was the return of the Viper, Randy Orton. Live crowd was pretty surprised by it. If you read any reports on the dirt sheets heading into this weekend and leading up to the Monday Night Raw. You knew that he was coming back. It just was a matter of time if he would appear on television or not. He appeared on television and took on Heath Slater with this whole legend killer aspect and Orton being the new legend killer. I have my beliefs and thoughts already about the return of Randy Orton and things that I noticed about him as he was coming down the ramp. But I want to get your thoughts there first, Captain. One, does the return of Randy Orton excite you at all as a wrestling fan? And two, did you notice anything different about Randy Orton as he returned from his suspension?
Well, I mean, it's always good to have another main event caliber performer return back to the roster. It's what, and the one thing you and I have discussed about is he's been, other than the suspensions, he's been a good soldier for the WWE. He's the guy that, he puts guys over. He does great, does really solid matches, and he's just one of those good all around performers that you want to have on your roster if he can keep his head on straight. And as far as any changes, I'm going to leave that to you because I really didn't notice anything. But then again, I was kind of busy working at the time that Raw was on, so I really didn't get to see the match as quality performance as Heath Slater can put on as only he can.
Yeah, the return of Randy Orton is a good thing for professional wrestling. It's a good thing for wrestling fans. A main eventer back on the roster. He has been a fantastic soldier for the WWE. These unfortunate circumstances as of late with the drug policy violations that he's had in his career kind of clouds it a little bit. It currently clouds it. That's what people will be talking about until, here we are in society, and most of society quickly forgets or gives people second chances. And certainly Randy Orton didn't do anything that would make people want to hate him. He didn't do anything malicious to another person. He, quite frankly, did something malicious to himself in his own career. One thing that I notice, and I hate going down this route, I hate any type of negativity or any type of regular wrestling fandom where we're quick to judge. But when I saw Randy Orton walk down the ramp, and it may just be because I haven't seen him on television in 2 months or whatnot, but he looked a lot more skinnier. He looked skinnier, and especially in the shoulder, neck area. I believe that's the trapezius area. The traps is what they would call in the workout world. Something that I clearly know nothing about, but nonetheless, he looked very thin up there. And as time has gone on, if you look at Randy Orton when he first joined the WWE, he was a very muscular guy. The whole drug violation happened. He comes back a lot more skinnier. He comes back this time and he looks skinnier again. And maybe it's a diet, maybe it's a look that he was achieving, but there looked like to be a slight loss of muscle mass. At least I noticed. Did you notice at all maybe that the physique of Randy Orton wasn't as he's a slim guy to begin with, but it wasn't as bigger as it was the last time we saw Orton on television?
I think a lot of it is the fact that with his height and his build, he's always looked kind of slenderish. And when you're away from being on the road, you don't work out as much. You don't have the guys around you kind of pushing you. There's a chance that during his vacation, air quotes included, he probably just wasn't hitting the gym as much. There was a long time in that 60-day window that he was rumored to get fired, and if people are talking about getting, if people are mentioning to me that I might be getting fired, you know what? I might not be putting in 100% of the effort, in that window while I'm waiting to come back. But he's always, ever since he started the whole Viper gimmick, his whole physique has rather changed. He really has looked more and more like a snake in a lot of ways. And I don't know if that's just a character thing he's doing and just going along with the character, or if it really is just a question of, he's getting older and his body's changing.
Yeah, it's a good point, and that's a whole other podcast, Captain, where we talk about how people's bodies changes. I don't want Eric Darcy to get the wrong idea that this was a puberty podcast at all. We'll say that for another day. But nonetheless, Randy Orton is back on the WWE roster. He appeared on Raw. He appeared on SmackDown this week. Spoiler alert. But the question I need to ask now is, and I want to look at this at 3 different stages. Let's look at this first right now. Current climate. Where does Randy Orton go from here? Where do you see Randy Orton come SummerSlam time? Is he involved in the World Heavyweight Championship match? Does he have a match at all? Is he involved with someone else? What are they going to do with Randy Orton now that he's back in the booking fold?